Welcome to yet another episode of the Explore UX cast on usability testing, where we delve into the world of usability and user experience. I'm your host, Obruche, and on today's episode, we're focusing on human centered design, which involves putting users at the heart of every step of the design process. It's a powerful approach that ensures the things we design, websites, apps, products, anything really, are built with real people in mind. Think about the last time you used something so confusing it made you want to tear your hair out. Maybe it was a website with menus buried in cryptic corners, or an app that required a PhD in tech to navigate. These experiences highlight the importance of human centered design. It helps us avoid frustration by putting the user at the center of the design process. So, how do we uncover what users actually need and want? That's where usability requirements come in. These are specific needs and goals that users have when interacting with anything designed for them. Imagine them as a roadmap guiding the design process towards a user friendly destination. I have talked about this in previous episodes. I recommend you check them out. There are a few key ways to unearth these usability requirements. Think of them as our detective toolkit in the human centered design world. This is where we put on our metaphorical detective hats. We use techniques like interviews, surveys, and usability testing to understand user needs, behaviors, and pain points. Imagine you sitting down with people asking questions like, what are your biggest challenges using X? Or what features would make your life easier? By listening to their experiences, we gain valuable insights. And that's not all. We don't just listen. We envision different situations users might encounter. We do this by building scenario. For example, if we're designing a fitness tracker app, we might create a scenario where a user wants to track their run during a busy commute. By putting ourselves in their shoes and imagining their needs in that specific context, we can identify the features and functionalities they'd need to have a smooth experience. This all ties together with competitive analysis. We take a peek at what similar products are doing well and not so well. This helps us identify best practices and potential pitfalls to avoid. Let's say we're designing a food delivery app. We might look at popular apps like Uber Eats and DoorDash to see what features users find most valuable, like clear menus, easy checkout processes, and real time order tracking. By learning from others, we can avoid reinventing the wheel and focus on creating an even better user experience. See how these all work together? User research helps us understand what people need, scenario building lets us imagine how they'll use it, and competitive analysis shows us what's already working out there. With this knowledge, we can design something truly exceptional. But don't think of usability requirements as a boring checklist. They're more like different ingredients that come together to make a product not just functional, but fun and easy to use. Let's break them down a bit, shall we? Let's talk about functional requirements. Functional requirements are the foundation of any product, like the building blocks. They define the core functionalities, the must haves that make the product actually useful. Think about a music app. Core functionality would be playing, pausing, and skipping songs. These features ensure the app does what it's supposed to do, but a great product goes beyond just working. That's where usability requirements come in. They focus on how easy and enjoyable the product is to use. For our music app, usability means having clear and intuitive playback controls, easily accessible playlists, and a seamless search function. These features create a smooth and frustration free experience for users. They can find the music they want and enjoy it without wrestling with the app itself. Finally, we consider accessibility requirements. This is all about making sure everyone can use the product effectively, including people with disabilities. For the music app, this might involve features like voice commands or compatibility with screen readers. By incorporating accessibility features, we design products that are truly inclusive, products that can be used and enjoyed by everyone, regardless of ability. Now let's talk about the power of unveiling usability requirements. By taking the time to understand user needs through usability requirements, we reap a multitude of benefits. 1. Increased user satisfaction. When a product is easy and enjoyable to use, users are more likely to be happy and keep coming back for more. Imagine the difference between a website that takes minutes to find the information you need and one that guides you effortlessly. User satisfaction translates to user loyalty, which is a win for any business. 2. Reduced costs. Imagine launching a product only to discover after the fact that it's confusing and frustrating to use. Fixing usability problems after launch is expensive and time consuming. By identifying and addressing usability concerns upfront through user research, we save time, money, and resources in the long run. 3. Improved brand reputation. Products that are user friendly build trust and loyalty, leading to a positive brand image. People remember positive experiences, and when a product makes their lives easier, they're more likely to recommend it to others. In today's competitive landscape, a strong brand reputation built on user centricity can be a powerful differentiator. Curious about the latest UX trends? Sign up for our UX newsletter on LinkedIn. See the link in the description section of this episode. Now let's get real. Imagine we just landed the coolest project ever, designing a brand new website for a library. To make it amazing, we got to put those fancy human centered design and usability skills to work. Here's what it might look like. First, we do research. We interview librarians and library patrons to understand their needs. Librarians might want a system for managing online resources easily, while patrons might prioritize features like searching the catalog, placing holds on books, and accessing ebooks. Then we create scenarios like a student researching a paper or a parent trying to find a book for their child's bedtime story. This helps us identify features that cater to these specific needs. After scenarios, we do competitive analysis. We check out other library websites to see what works well and what doesn't. Maybe some websites have confusing navigation or lack clear instructions for placing holds. Learning from these examples helps us avoid similar pitfalls. Based on this research, we can define usability requirements for the library website. Some might include a clear and intuitive search bar for finding books and resources, easy access to online library resources like ebooks and audiobooks, a user-friendly system for placing holds on physical materials, a mobile responsive design for easy access on smartphones and tablets, accessibility features like screen reader compatibility for visually impaired users. Now you see how all of these comes together when we put users at the heart of every step, and it's one of the main reasons why it's called human-centered design. It's important to remember that human-centered design isn't a one-time thing. Usability requirements should be revisited and refined throughout the design process. We can conduct usability testing with real users to see how they interact with the website prototype and identify any areas for improvement. By continuously iterating and incorporating user feedback, we ensure the final product is truly user-centered and meets the needs of both librarians and patrons. Before I end this episode, let me briefly talk about human-centered design beyond websites and apps. Human-centered design isn't limited to digital products. The principles can be applied to anything designed for human interaction. Imagine designing a new park. We can use human-centered design to understand how people want to use the space. Maybe they want walking paths, playgrounds, or quiet areas for reading. By incorporating these needs into the design, we create a park that's enjoyable and functional for everyone. Final thoughts. By focusing on what people really need and want, we can create products and experiences that feel good. Think about it. Every user-friendly design out there, from your favorite app to that perfectly designed tea kettle, is a tiny step towards a better world. Human-centered design makes things work for people, and that can make a big difference. Thanks for joining me on this episode on exploration of human-centered design and usability requirements. If you have any questions or want to share your own HCD experiences, feel free to get in touch. Until next time, happy designing. Thanks for listening. Cheers and have a good one.
You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.